All right, what we're doing here is I am making a sleeve to and wrap around a glass bottle to turn it into a flask, or to make sure you get a good grip on the glass bottle that I'm gonna refill with booze, because emergencies happen. So I've just cut a strip of leather that is sized to wrap around this that glass bottle you see there, and I'm just stitching it up. Nothing real fancy about what's going on. You just kind of, you can do stitches over, under, it really doesn't matter. And then you just work your way down like you're stitching up a pair of boots. And there it is. Nothing too crazy. Now I've got a book I got at the bookstore in the clearance aisle, and I am literally cutting the cover off of it so that I can run it through the bandsaw and make a pocket for the flask. Just using the blade there to get the cover off. Nothing, not a big deal. We'll put that back on later on. Now I'm just kind of laying out the position on the book to see where I need to cut it out. This book is a little thicker than it actually needed to be. I'm giving myself about 1/8 of an inch extra space. In retrospect, I probably should have given myself a little more room. It's pretty snug in there. And as you can see, for some reason, I don't know what's going on, but the bandsaw does not like the real narrow blades. This is like an 1/8 inch wide blade, 3/16, something like that. And I fought this the whole time. It, yeah, literally pissed me off trying to get through there and get this thing hollowed out. But for the most part, I've got it going here, and I can get this thing cut out. We're just cutting chunks out so that it's easy to work with. If you're going to do this, you'll also want to note that when you're cutting, your feed rate needs to be really slow so that it actually cuts and it doesn't tear.
Yeah. And we bumped the blade on the chunk we were cutting out and popped it off track. Again. Damn.
So now here I've finally got the thing cut out. The flask fits in there pretty well, but what I'm finding is it's a little snug getting it out with my big old paws. But we'll figure that out here in a minute. So trying to get it reoriented in the book, and I'm sure there's a better way to do this than how I did it, but I don't know much about making books or binding books, but just making sure everything fits and I can get it realigned pretty well. I used some orange paper for the new fly leaf, or at least I thought I was going to originally. This is some mesh that you use in bookmaking. I thought I would use it to reattach it to the cover so that it would hold the book, the cover on the book, or the book in the cover, however you want to look at it. So here I'm just putting it in my homemade book vise. I'm going to glue this mesh on there. I've got some glue that is specifically for bookmaking and crafts with, it's PVA glue. Okay, I'm told this is for bookbinding and paper, so let's see what the hell happens. And as you can see there, I forgot to shake it, so it just makes a mess everywhere.
Try that again. That's looking better.
So I'm just basically covering this with enough glue that it can soak through the mesh onto the spine of the book.
All right, let's let that dry. See what we end up with.
Basically, you can hold the whole book by that piece of mesh and it's not going anywhere. Now I'm pulling it out. Everything's pretty solid. Now I got to try to get the cover reattached. And what I decided to do, I was going to add a new fly leaf, but I decided just to glue it with the existing fly leaf. I didn't. Sometimes when you make a hollowed out book like this, you'll make it such that the first, 40 or 50 pages make it look like a real book. I didn't take this apart such that was easy to do. So I just went with getting the cover back on so that you could put it on the bookshelf and it looked like it was a normal book. Yeah, you can see some of the pages there fussing with me where I got some glue squirt out. I'm trying to get it aligned.
More of the same.
What I'm doing here is I'm brushing more of the glue on the walls of the cutout so that it'll stay solid and it won't come apart, or you won't pull the book off the shelf and have it slip out from the middle. And then I just put a weight on it to keep everything as flat as I could. So now when you open it, it is a solid cavity. And, the book can't squirt, the bottle can't squirt out of the middle. Here I'm playing with it. I'm having some trouble getting the bottle out because I made the pocket so tight. So I just put a little strap in here to lay the bottle on, and then if you pull the strap, the bottle turns on its side and it's really easy to grab. Now I'm just putting the cover back on it, making the cover fit right. But of course I screwed up a little. I glued the book to the cover too early.
Oh, well, didn't I screw up? I glued the back without the cover on.
So I have to modify the back edge of the cover just a little bit so that I can tuck it in and make it look like a normal book cover.
Isn't that a pain in the butt? Nope, fixable. How far in there is that?
Yeah, here I'm just cutting that off so that I can tuck it in just so. And it looks like a normal book cover.
Of Scott Fitzgerald, 2 novels and 19 short stories. Looks like a completely normal book. And now we can have a drink. Oh.
Now we need to fill that up with some quality bourbon.
Shit. We can't have a drink.
Which we've done here. This is the final test to see if it works. And I take a belt off of it and put it all back, and looks like you got a normal book.
Ta-da! Later.
Thanks for watching. Later.